But let's do a little quick recap. I was at the reception for the members of Congress and some folks the night before, and I knew there'd be some kind of videotape. Mr. Burleson, Congressman Burleson, informed me that he had some footage, and we'll put that up as I'm speaking about it in the finished interview. But basically what it shows is a drone chasing a spherical object that, and then another drone fires a Hellfire missile, which apparently, as it approaches the object, breaks up, and some of the debris go along with the sphere. And this came from a source. I had known of this event some time ago, about a month or two ago. It happened off the coast of Yemen in October of last year, 2024. So unfortunately, the commentary on it is completely off the mark. One of the problems with these hearings is that there aren't any subject experts at them. And I will be blunt about this. So Ms. Luna, who's the chair of that task force, Congressman Luna, asked everyone if this was something that could be anything we have. And of course, all of them said no, but the people on the panel were a UFO journalist who has no scientific credentials or information on the subject, and the others were ones who had been present at incidents that were passing, but weren't read into covert programs, and most certainly had no knowledge of the reverse engineered tech or even the very advanced exotic technologies which Lockheed Skunk Works and Northrop Grumman and Raytheon and EG&G and other companies have. Now, with the data that's in that video, I can't tell if that's a non-human object or man-made, but the way it behaved and the fact that it was something that didn't just vanish and disappear as these missiles closed in on it would indicate that it was man-made. So an extraterrestrial and interstellar technology literally will look like it dematerializes right in front of you because they shift into quote unquote another dimension, but they just go beyond the speed of matter and light and subatomic particles. And so it would just not be there. So I would say that the evidence would point to this being a man-made object. Now, a man-made object from where? We do know that, for example, the anti-gravity triangles, which have been made by Northrop Grumman and Raytheon over the years, that are electrogravitic or a so-called gravity control effect, those also have been spotted in Russia and also in Iran and in China. And there's a good reason to believe that the sort of undeclared arms race involving reverse engineering advanced ET technologies is most certainly not limited to the United States. Now, this brings up a question of whether or not it matters what country it's from, because as I understand the organization engaged in this subject, it's a transnational corrupt organization. It's a organized crime syndicate that's global, and it has operations in every country in the world, subterranean, that goes off the radar of the leadership of these other countries. And I know that's true in the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, the other advanced Western countries, France and whatnot. Now, the question is that the situation in Iran or Russia or China? I don't know. I will say I don't know if that's the same dynamic. It very well could be. And that's something that has yet to be, in my mind, determined. But I can say with authority, with firsthand knowledge and authority, that the technologies that sphere represented very well could be of human manufacture, but from what origin and what terrain, let's say what geopolitical area, I don't know. Now, the geopolitical area, say the boundaries of Iran, Russia, China, US, are pretty much irrelevant to the organization running covert UAP, UFO programs. period. They don't even care. They really don't. So then the question becomes a bigger question. Who ordered the firing on it? Right? Because one of the scandals that's going to attend this, and I know this is the DoD, the Department of Defense concern, is anything that is more advanced than what the legal constitutional military has, let's call it that, or what Clinton called Team Blue, the regular military, even the most advanced stealth fighters, the most advanced weapon systems, etc. Those are generations below what are existing in these covert illegal programs based on reverse engineering, extraterrestrial devices, and advanced exotic technologies dealing with trans-dimensional physics and anti-gravity and all of that. So then the question is, who ordered a Hellfire missile fired at this thing? What was the chain of command and why? And was this object interfering with our operations in near Yemen, or was it also something that was launched by the left hand that doesn't know what the right hand's doing? In other words, we have recently debriefed a Green Beret who was in a sensitive black operation in Syria a few years ago, where he observed the tic-tac sitting ready to be deployed. All right, and it was man-made. It's man-made, and it's an unmanned reconnaissance anti-grav device. And we've known this for many, many years. Devices similar to that have been seen and documented all the way back. If you look at our Disclosure, an illustrated history book we just released, all the way back to 1967 in Pennsylvania, right? So the question is, was this an object that was a reconnaissance object after what happened in Israel on October 7th that was deployed by aspects of a secret covert governmental program, military program, or some transnational operation that the regular military doesn't know about? Now, then there's another analysis, and that is, why would these things be deployed where they know they're going to be detected in a sensitive area of military operations if it's not extraterrestrial? Which I don't think this is. I think it would be done for a number of reasons. One is to tickle Team Blue, the conventional military, to see what their reaction would be. And this is part of how they test their adversaries who are in the legal government of the United States and other countries. Because you're looking at really two governments. You're looking at the government of the president and the Congress and the normal military and CIA, and then you're looking at an extremely unacknowledged, black, illegal, unsanctioned project that deals with UAPs. So this gets to be very complicated. It's like a war game. And, so there are many things, there are more things not known about this. I'm here giving you sort of an overview, a sort of informed analysis of what it may have been and why it was done. But so far, we don't have anything from the national military in the United States as to who ordered the strike with the Hellfire missile, why, what, if anything, was this object doing that interfered with conventional military, and so forth. My concern about this is that because members of Congress, and certainly these sort of baby step hearings they're doing, which, by the way, are not even 1% of what we presented in 2001 at the National Press Conference. Those hearings are absolutely going forward without an adequate fund of knowledge by either the members of Congress or the people who are on the panel. The people
absolutely
on the panel are just woefully inadequate to even discuss the issue, frankly. And then you have someone like Miss Luna, who is, been pulled into sort of, let's just say, some counterintelligence operations in ufology. And she's being very, very much misguided. And I don't know that she's aware of it. She may be, but I don't think so. I don't think she knows the extent to which she's being misled. Now, I think other members of the panel, Moskowitz, I've spoken to some other members of Congress who attended, as well as, of course, Congressman Burleson, is very astute and is much more developed in his understanding of this. But the chair of this task force is Miss Luna, who somehow, always wants to posit this and kept saying it was scary. Well, I'll tell you what's scary. It's scary that our regular military and members of Congress don't know what these objects are, and they think that anything zipping around in our atmosphere is alien, when it certainly isn't. At least 80-90% of everything out there that are called a UAP or UFO is ours. And this is now being understood on a very high level of law enforcement and national security in the United States and the executive branch, but the Congress seems to be lagging in their understanding of this.